Today is the 28th of October and the 57th day of hunger. Today I will talk about the second overarching tenet of Sanctum, harmony among humans. Yesterday we saw that the first overarching tenet, harmony with nature, is the axial tenet of Sanctum since everything else depends on it. If we destroy the conditions for life on Earth by transgressing the planetary boundaries, everything else we do is futile. But just as the second tenet depends on the first, so does the first depend on the second. For if we fail to reach harmony among humans, we will succumb to nuclear annihilation or environmental destruction and take the planet down with us. Harmony among humans is the second tenet of Sanctum and the second highest duty of earth angels. It is expressed in the following commandment: love your kind as you love yourself, for you are a part of it, and any harm you do to humankind, you do to yourself. This is the second commandment, the second sacred rule of Sanctum, and the foundation of an expanded social conscience that for the first time in our history transcends borders and nations. A greater scale and scope for our existing social consciences that none of us is born with or can henceforth live without. An expanded social conscience is the logical, necessary, and natural step in our evolution from national citizens to global citizens, from people capable only of concern for our fellow nationals to people capable of concern for all human beings on Earth, thanks to the awareness that our civilization is global and depends on people, resources, and technology from across the world. And as such, we are all one, interdependent, and interconnected. One species, one nation, one civilization, one destiny. There is only one species on Earth, humans, that threatens the existence of all other life forms we share this planet with, as though we were alien and unsympathetic to any other species but our own. We came to pose this threat by rising above all others and separating ourselves from nature to grow our own food because we grew too many numbers for nature's bounty. It is our numbers that forced us to break away from a hunter-gatherer existence. It is also our numbers, but also our technology, that forced us to break away from an agricultural existence. For as we learn to harness the power of fossil fuels with internal combustion engines, we started to need resources we never needed before to feed our machines. And it is our numbers and rapacious consumption of finite natural resources that is forcing us to reinvent our civilization's sources of energy. For as we erected a civilization based on non-human and non-animal energy, we are rapidly depleting the organic sources of energy that our machines run on. It is therefore imperative that we establish harmony among humans so we do not keep needing more than our planet can give, keep taking what our species need to survive, and keep causing more damage than the planet can regenerate. There must be harmony among humans before we can accomplish harmony with nature. Needing or wanting more than our planet can give leads to scarcity, conflict, and ultimately to our assured mutual annihilation by nuclear war. Taking what other species need to survive leads to the extinction of other species, to a denuded planet, and ultimately to our own demise. And causing more damage and pollution than the planet can regenerate leads to environmental catastrophe and the destruction of all life on Earth, including our own. All three are vicious cycles of our own making, and all lead to never-ending suffering and ultimately to hell, a hell of our own making, the only hell that exists. Mankind has been trapped in the first vicious cycle, the one that leads to violence against one another and war forever. because our numbers grew faster than our ability to grow food and build infrastructure. Mankind has become trapped in a second vicious cycle, the one that leads to the collapse of other species and ultimately of our own, since last century, because our numbers outgrew the planet's resources and the available land. And mankind has become trapped in the last vicious cycle, the one that leads to environmental catastrophe and the destruction of all life on Earth, including our own, in this century, because our ability to pollute exceeds the planet's ability to cleanse itself of our pollution. We are trapped in these three hells because we lack a religion that is smart enough to liberate us from false thinking, flawed actions, and failed foresight. We are trapped in these three hells because we are prisoners of old religions that give us only false thinking, flawed actions, and failed foresight. They are religions conceived to teach man how to conduct himself within the group for the survival of the group and the exclusion of everyone else, human and non-human, from our consideration. By their very nature, the existing faiths are exclusionary. Sanctum is a religion conceived to teach mankind how to conduct itself within a planet for the survival of all life and the inclusion of all species, human and non-human, in our consideration. By its very nature, it is inclusionary. People are attached to the old faiths by the force of habits, but it is their very habits that we must transcend. They are religions based on human flaws and foibles, stuck in the dirt of human existence, in monkey man thinking, and incapable of rising to earth angel thinking, to the highest realms, those of our magnificent planet and its place in the universe, in God. For we are of the universe and not just of the people. They are religions of stories and miracles, of pomp and ceremony, of formality and habits, of rituals and fear. Sanctum is a religion of solutions and realities, of reason and simplicity, of equilibrium and harmony, of awareness and courage. All existing religions are limited in their compassion and awareness, in their scale and scope, and trapped by their dogmas and doctrines in a prison of their own making that they cannot escape. Their static nature has arrested our social evolution. Sanctum is not. Sanctum's compassion and awareness, scale and scope are planetary and inclusionary and frees us all from all limitations, from the relics of the past. Its dynamic nature propels our social evolution. Our old religions taught us how to be human in conduct despite being just animal in form. Sanctum teaches us how to be angelic in conduct despite being just human in form. Sanctum begins where they ended. We are no longer trapped. We now have a religion capable of liberating us from suffering.